And welcome back to another episode of Too Much Podtar. Today is August 26th, and I've got another DFS episode for you today for tonight's slate. And I'm doing a solo again, so just gonna run through some picks quickly. Tonight's slate is 9 games, 7:10 Eastern start when the locks. But it's kind of weird. The Yankees and Braves game is listed there, even though it's a doubleheader, so it's not really included in the slate. But they still have the players. Just be careful not to add any of those players. But yeah, I'm going to be running through some pitchers, hitters, and stacks as always for the 9 games. And just as I said last time, you can DM my Twitter at Alex Keeler, the podcast Twitter at pod_tar, or leave a voicemail at my number 570-470-5412 and leave any questions, comments, whatever about the baseball season, DFS, fantasy, anything like that. And we'll answer that in a future. I'm going to be going through those and answering some of those in a future episode. So definitely anything you want to ask or comment, you can definitely leave there. Be going through some of them in a future episode. But other than that, just gonna roll through some pitchers here first. Jacob DeGrom, he's a lock at the top pitcher available, 11,000 against the Marlins, and he's got 35 strikeouts, just 5 walks in 28 innings this year in 5 games started, and he's got 2 wins. The Mets actually gave him run support in those 2 games. 192 batting average against, 0.89 WHIP, 22.8 fantasy points per game on DraftKings. And the Marlins, he's faced twice this year, back on August 9th and also August 19th. And on August 9th, he went 5 innings, did give up 2 earned runs, including a home run, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. But the last one, August 19th, he went 6 innings, gave up just 4 hits, no runs, and 7 strikeouts, no walks. So he was dominant there. I mean, both of them he was pretty dominant. 2 runs, 6 innings. 2 runs, 5 innings is still not a terrible start. Obviously, it's not it's not technically a great start, of course, but it's still not. It's still decent. But yeah, other than that, he's gone at least 5 innings in all of his starts. All 5 of his starts, he's gone 6 innings 3 times, 5 twice. But he's yet to go that deep. He's not going to be pushed through that far. Because just want to save his arm. He's not going to be pushed through too far. He has thrown over 100 pitches once, 104 against Atlanta back on August 3rd. But other than him, I like Sonny Gray against the Brewers, 8,800. He's, we've talked about before. Brewers lineup is towards the bottom of the league ranks. Of a bunch of offensive categories. And Gray has been very good this year. 51 strikeouts, just 13 walks in 36 and 2/3 innings, 0.98 WHIP, 176 batting average against, 26.6 fantasy points per game on DraftKings. That's a really very very solid matchup for him. So I have to say that's a very good option. So I would probably do something like pairing him with DeGrom or somebody else like Dinelson Lamet against the Mariners, who we all know they really don't have a good offense. And Lamet is having a pretty solid season. He's got 45 Ks, 11 walks and 33 and a third, 0.84 whip, 147 batting average against, 23.3 points per game on DraftKings, as always. But yeah, it's a very good matchup there against Seattle. So I would definitely use him as a value option, 8.6K. And he's probably as far as I'd go down the list. Maybe go as far as one below him at Jose Barrios. Uh, he was off to a bad start. He wasn't doing great, but his last start out, he against Milwaukee. Obviously they're not a great lineup, but he did go. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you're not pitching well. Uh, having a good start, even against a bad offense, is going to be something you can build off of. That game he went 6 innings, gave up no runs, just one hit, one walk, and struck out 9. Threw 89 pitches over the 6 innings. That was good for 34.3 points per game. And actually, he's now cheaper. He was 9K for that game, and now he's down to 8.2K. So he's definitely an option. I think Cleveland does not have the greatest offense either. They have some hitters in there, as I've said before, but they've been not that great at all. They just don't really have much. So I could definitely see Barrios building off that last start and coming out firing on all cylinders, and against a lineup like that, I think he can do it. But he's probably as low as I go, anywhere from DeGrom. Kershaw against Giants is a good option, but I don't know if I'd pay up for him 10.2K. I probably wouldn't do DeGrom and him. But maybe in some lineups I'd go Kershaw and somebody else like Lamet or Barrios or Gray. And also Mike Clevenger is coming back to start today after being down after the whole incident with him and his name just slipped my mind, but the other pitcher on the Indians that were broke COVID-19 protocol, so and all the garbage that happened there. But now he's back. Clevenger's back. He's going to be starting today. That could be an option, but he's not been pitching for I think it was 2 weeks since the last time he started. Yeah. So the last start was August 5th, so it's been 3 weeks since he started. So he's probably not going to go that deep into the game, and his worst start of the year was against the Twins, as he went 4 innings, gave up 4 runs, 6 hits, which included 2 home runs and 5 walks, 5 Ks. So he's facing the Twins again, and he's not going to be very sharp after being down for a while. I mean, obviously he was able to stay, fresh down in the alternate site, but he hasn't faced major league hitting in, as I said, 3 weeks. So it's definitely something I could see attacking that line. I could definitely see attacking him with that lineup as far as that. So I probably would not go after him. He's right. He's kind of weird that he's 8.9K. He's actually above Gray, Lamet, and Barrios. I would think all 3 of them would be more expensive than him. But, definitely stay away from him. Definitely got to fade him. Definitely attack him. Twins is always an option to use their stack. So that's definitely an option to do that. So yeah. So I definitely, as I said, go as far down as Barrios. I would use DeGrom, anywhere from DeGrom to Barrios, excluding Clevenger and probably excluding Lester. I just don't, Lester's strikeout numbers are not good at all. His last game, he gave up 8 earned runs over 3 2/3 innings, 4 home runs. So he's not doing good, and that was against the the White Sox, who obviously they've been on fire in offense. So he it's but it's still, even so, before he was facing Milwaukee, who I said is not a good offense. He gave up 5 earned runs in 6 innings. I didn't walk anybody, 5 Ks, but um, he's not going to give you much. I just don't see it. So anywhere, yeah, definitely, I would definitely still go with DeGrom. I could definitely see Kershaw an option, but skip Lester, Clevenger. But then you can use Gray, Lamet, or Barrios, and then anywhere under below that, I'd probably stay away from. Um, because you got, well, maybe Adrian Hauser, but it's against the Reds lineup, who's always an who's always has a chance to like really go out and attack. So I probably would stay away from him. Mike Fiers against porous Rangers offense, but Mike Fiers is not that great. 20 earned runs in 31 innings, 14 strikeouts, 9 walks. But yeah, one guy I could see maybe going for potentially is Dakota Hudson of the Cardinals against KC. He went 4 2/3 last time out, just gave up 1 hit, 2 walks, no earned runs, and struck out 6. That was his third start of the year. After, obviously the Cardinals have been missing. They missed a lot of games. So that was only his third start, and he's probably going to be worked up a little bit more today. Probably be pushed. It was only 74 pitches last time. Probably be pushed to at least 80 plus, 85 maybe. So I can see him going 5-6 innings in this start. So he'll be in line for the win, and he won't strike too many guys out, but he does have. He has at least he has a one strikeout per. One strikeout per 9 right now. He has 13 strikeouts in 13 innings, so he could put decent strikeout numbers up, but I don't know if he will. So he's maybe an option if you want to go something different at 8.1K. But I mentioned all the other guys that are pretty good options as far as that goes. Not really that expensive. Barrios 8.2 is pretty cheap, so I definitely go with him as an option. So, but let's move on to some hitters. Nelson Cruz. I've really been talking about him a lot, but he's just been on fire, and he's facing Clevenger, as I said. Hasn't been pitching against major league hitters for 3 weeks, and he Cruz did go for 4 yesterday, struck out 3 times, but other than that, he had home runs in back-to-back games, and he has 11 on the season, which is second in the league behind Fernando Tatis Jr. who has 12. So he's an option at 6.1. I said obviously the stack of the Twins I would like. There's a lot of times that's a pretty good option. So he's definitely number 1 for that stack. Some other solo plays. I don't have to really go into detail about the Twins hitters. We all know who you can go with. But some of the solo plays that I like. Tatis, as I just said, facing Seattle, Tejon Walker, Manny Machado is also an option in the lineup, and I like Javier Baez, who had 2 home runs, 2 home runs on Saturday, or wait, Monday. Yeah, I don't know what day it is, but he had 2 home runs on Monday. He had 1 hit yesterday. So he's been catching fire a little bit, facing off against Michael Fulmer. As I think, well, he's been the opener for a while. I think he's just starting, and he's going to be going a little bit deeper into the game. But he's given up 12 runs in 11 and a third innings this year. So I definitely like Baez there. Um, there's also Dodgers, of course, against Gosman, but Gosman has also been pretty okay this year. 42 Ks over 31 innings, um, 17 points per game, but he's only given up 5 home runs in those innings. So maybe not. I mean, it's the Dodgers too, though. So I think they can definitely do damage against him and the rest of the Giants. Once they get to the bullpen. So well, he did face the Dodgers back August 9th. He only gave up 1 earned in 6 and a third. Struck out 6, 80 pitches thrown. So he could be somebody that could definitely shut them down. He proved it that start, but it's the second time out that he's facing them. Maybe they'll end up being able to put some better at bats together and find something to be able to attack him. But uh, other than that, I like Matt Chapman against Texas. He's had back-to-back hitless games, 6 strikeouts total in those games. But I can see him coming out and having a good game, facing a lefty in Kobe Aller. Um, Chapman's 5.7K, so that's one option I like. Charlie Blackmon against Robbie Ray, even any of the Rockies hitters like Arenado. That could be a mini stack. So you can go with Arenado, Story, Blackmon, McMahon, Daniel Murphy, even. So some of the cheap options there. You got Blackmon, Story, and Arenado who are at the top. But you could go with Murphy, who's only 3.9K. McMahon's only 4.1K. Garrett Hampson's 3.9K. And, Ray has been struggling this year. So that's can definitely be an option to go with a stack of the Rockies. Let me see here. Yeah, but another note on Ray, he's given up 9 home runs in 27 innings, so not terrible. But he's given up, I believe, at least a home run in all of our starts but one. So I definitely like that, attacking him. I mean, this year especially, he's just been awful, awful, awful. I thought he was going to be so much better, but he's definitely somebody to attack. Like, I always like attacking him when he's on the mound. So yeah, that's a pretty easy attack there, especially the Rockies lineup, who's not that they're obviously cooled off a lot now, but they still have potential, especially against a kind of pitcher like him. And yeah, he's given up. Yes, it was only the start against the Padres was the only start he didn't give up a home run, and he gave up 1, 2, 3, 1, 0, 2 in order of his starts. So somehow he shut down the Padres lineup, the Slam Diego Padres. I don't know how, but yeah, he did. But other than that, he's given up at least a home run in each of them. So I think I see another home run or two today. Somebody like Blackmon, Arenado, Story. one of those guys is going to hit a home run today. I think maybe I'll have him. One of them is my home run call later, but I'll get to that in a little while. But first, I will get some more hitters. Let me see. Um, just kind of look at some value options. Uh, let me see. Well, Eric Hosmer, and then along with the Padres stack, you can go with him. He's still just 4.2K. So I like him. Jesse Winker's only 4.1K, so he's still low that down there. So I would I would go with that's an option for value. And Joey Bart even, if he does start, which he should. Yeah, you know, he got called up. What was it? Thursday, and he's played in 5 games so far, and he's got no just 4 hits and 17 at bats, 3 doubles, RBI, a walk, 7 strikeouts. So hasn't been able to break up with yeah. He hasn't been able to break up with his girlfriend yet. No, but he's hasn't been able to break out yet. Really, but it's only 17 at bats so far. He's obviously facing Kershaw, which is obviously tough. But maybe that's what he needs for the motivation, and he'll come out and have a big game against a future Hall of Famer. That'd be pretty awesome. To see him hit a home run even. Against that would be awesome. His first home run is against Clayton Kershaw. Like that would be crazy. But he's got. It's nice to see that he had the first hit out of the way right away. He scored runs. He got the runs out of the way, RBI out of the way. So I think today may be the day he gets the home run out of the way against as I said, future Hall of Fame pitcher. I could definitely see it. I think I may go with Joey Bart is my home run call, but I'm not going to officially say my home run call until the very end of the pod. But yeah, he's 4.1K on DraftKings, so I could see going after him as a value catcher. A lot of times I like to pay up for catchers, but pay up for my catcher, like go with a Sanchez or go with Gary Sanchez or you know Wilson Contreras, um, somebody like that. But I think that's definitely an option. Going if you want to go value and pay up for some of the other guys. Like sometimes I pay up for catcher and then go with more value. Outfielders or something like that. You can pay up for outfielders, maybe even go with Bart and then pay up for Trout even or something like that. So we never know. You can do a lot of different things. But yeah, just a note on Hosmer. He's 3 for 8 against Tajon Walker. Obviously, that's a small sample, but he can definitely hit him well. The rest of the Padres lineup against him hasn't really faced him much. The hitter who's faced him the most is Machado with 12 at bats. There's only 2 for 12 against him. But other than that, really not much. But I think they're mashed today. They're against Walker. Let's see here. Just try to see what other options there are as far as hitters go. I already mentioned a bunch of stacks like the Dodgers, the Padres, the Twins, probably the Reds again. Um, but Donovan Solano was an option at 4.5K. He hit the walk-off jack yesterday against the Dodgers. Yeah, those are some of the main guys I like. Shoot. But other than that, let's get to what you've been waiting for, my home run call, as I wrap this up here. Drum roll, please. My home run call for tonight's slate is going to be, I will go with Miguel Sano. Yeah, I said maybe I would go with a Twins hitter, and let's see, I will go with that. Well, I'm not going to officially say Miguel Sano. Well, is my only home run call. I'm going to say either Sano or Arenado, the Rockies. So I'm going to say that. So if either two of them, well, obviously I mentioned them as part of those stacks too. So either way, I pretty much called them. If they hit a home run, it helps you get points. So, but I think those are the two main guys that I like to hit home runs today. So yeah, that's it for today. Just kind of a quick one here. Didn't want to go too much into detail. Just wanted to run through some picks, some options I like as far as pitchers, hitters, stacks go, and just make sure you keep tuning into this for DFS advice. We'll be back tomorrow for another DFS pod, or I'll be back. I'm not sure who's going to be joining me, but we'll see. But good luck. Hopefully you win some money, add some more into your bankroll. But other than the DFS pods, starting Sunday, we're going to be recording a trade deadline episode, which we'll either release Sunday at some point after we finish recording, or Monday, like Monday morning, as the deadline is 4 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll see what happens here. See what big trades go down, if any, or whatever. But yeah, it's exciting. I think there's going to be some trades that go down. But yeah, just a reminder, you can never have too much pod tar. We will be back. And peace out. Always start Mike Trout.